Hi.
Hi, my name is Miche. I am the founder and director of Mikhanyi.
And my name is Bianca. I am co-founder and director of Mikhanyi.
For us, really, founding Mikhanyi, the values that Mikhanyi carries are really fundamental to us and who we are. The problems of Africa concern us and touch us so deeply because we ourselves are Africans. When we look at all the challenges that we are faced with and are experiencing as a continent, we always push ourselves to want to be part of the solution. Sometimes it feels as if the solution would have to come from external. But we fundamentally believe at Mikhanyi that we as Africans and Mikhanyi as a Pan-African company, we have to play such an integral part and a key role in ensuring development in Africa, in our space, in logistics and transportation, the type of development that is sustainable, that creates employment, that saves the environment. That is really our commitment as a company.
The beauty about Mikhanyi is that we are a multilingual company with people that are able to speak different and various languages within Africa. When you think about the African space and business such as logistics, you think about the complexity that it provides, that comes with this type of business, where clearance is difficult sometimes, dealing with customs agents. Those are some of the difficulties that our clients face day to day. Now, as a business, we align ourselves to bringing all these solutions and make it one stop shop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think for us, essentially, it's this ability to simplify all of that complexity for our clients.
Yeah.
And that you don't have to feel daunted by the idea of transporting across Africa, of having to deal with various customs offices, etc., because you have this one single company that provides you with that entire service. And essentially that's us. As a company, we look at just Africa as just the richness of our diversity, the multiplicity of languages we speak, the cultural nuances and dynamics, the beauty of our people. Whilst most of Africa might still be underdeveloped, the potential that exists in African markets is unparalleled. And for us, we see that as a company. And we want to help businesses see that and leverage that and be able to build successful and sustainable businesses, which of course will result in more employment for young Africans, will result in more development for Africa. And that's our heart. We want to be a part of the long-term solution to African problems. And so when you partner with us as Mikhanyi to transport your cargo, to transport your goods, essentially what you're saying, I am helping Africans to develop. I am taking African hands and putting them on African problems so that Africans are able to provide solutions for their problems. That's what you're doing.
And until recently, not only are we impacting the African continent, we are looking to expand into the Middle East, places such as Dubai, places such as Saudi Arabia. That's one of the things that we're looking to go into and expand our business in.
Absolutely. Because we believe when you have a formula that works, you look for similar markets that you can replicate that formula into. And I think for us, it's an easier expansion into the Middle East, into Dubai, etc. Because what we've discovered working in Africa with African markets, with African consumers, we deeply believe that we can export that particular insight or that way of doing business into these markets that are similar to African markets. I suppose where for us, for future, when you look at statistics across Africa, you look at how many young people who go to university and graduate, and are not able to find even the most basic form of employment. And I think for us, looking to the future, is just being able to create work opportunities for people. Being able to have enough resources so that we are able to partner with universities, we are able to partner with schools so they teach Africans real trades that are able to be immediate solutions to our problems, that are applicable to resolving the issues that are faced, that rather we are faced with as a continent. And for us, you know, as we see the future, we see ourselves as a growing company that is able to remain sustainable, on the cutting edge, and impactful with every initiative we undertake.
And it's really a testament to the journey that we've taken over the last decade or so, where we started this business, just the two of us, and to see its growth to date, where we've employed people, where we've expanded our reach within Africa, is just quite amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I suppose for us, that's the privilege we get to enjoy, is that it's far beyond just the two of us. It's a team, and hopefully it's going to be an even bigger team. Essentially, the Mikhanyi difference lies in our ability to be able to provide successful and sustainable logistics and transport solutions to our clients. We are constantly delivering innovative and really great logistics and transport solutions to our clients. Essentially, what this means is that we are a one-stop shop for our clients. We carry our clients' goods from point A to point Z, and we do everything in between for our clients. What does that mean? It means if you are shipping something, for instance, to Nigeria from South Africa in Johannesburg, and we would take your cargo from point of collection to point of delivery, and we would do all the paperwork, pre-shipment up to delivery, and you would only pay us a single fee.
Our drive is to create and be part of the process that will be able to formulate a logistical system that allows all African countries to import and export their goods and products with each other. A well-structured and efficient logistical system on the continent will encourage African countries to create more factories that will allow products to be manufactured within the continent and reduces the current high reliance on the importation of products from other continents. We hope that with our vision, we can encourage other African businesses to align themselves with us and in the mission to create an African society that is self-sustaining and self-reliant. It is an absolute privilege to be a Black woman in the logistics space. If you think about DDP logistics across Africa, think Mikhanyi Logistics. Our multilingual team ensures we communicate with your clients in their preferred language. Our experience across Africa and our deep understanding of the cultural dynamics set us apart as your preferred logistics and transport partner.
Really, when I speak about I am speaking collectively with my partner who co-founded the business with me, is that our comprehensive understanding of African markets. And sometimes people see dust and we see opportunity. Sometimes people see chaos, lack of proper infrastructure. We see growth opportunities and real demands and needs for product and services. Our command to be able to speak multiple languages, our experience traveling across Africa. When we saw the complexity of customs processes, of transporting things across Africa, we realized that as Africans, we ourselves need to be part and play an integral part in providing solutions to African problems. And these were some of the factors that led us to starting Mikhanyi, to be able to simplify logistics processes, to be able to bring together customs processes that would be complex for companies to deal with, that we simplify those for our clients. To be able to look through and beyond the dust of African streets and see those as opportunities, and be able to highlight those to clients rather than them seeing lack of infrastructure and chaos, but instead they'll be able to look at that and see them as opportunities. These were just some of the factors that inspired us to be able to start this. As Africans, we are so committed to being part of the solutions to problems that we are faced with as a continent. And also we are engaged in just being such an integral part of the future of this continent. And logistics and transportation and mobility are such key components of the development of our continent. As Africans and as a Pan-African company, Mikhanyi, we want to be engaged in providing solutions and being a part of creating a future for this continent that it deserves. We have so much talent and we have so many people here in our continent that are capable enough to be able together to create solutions that are lasting and that will provide development and a great future for this continent.
Well, we wanted to be a one-stop shop where logistics and transport needs are met. How do we do that? By removing multiple agents, simplifying customs clearance processes, carrying commercial cargo from point A to Z, taking care of all the paperwork for the client so that they can focus on their core services and products. We ensure that cargo arrives securely and in good condition.
We feel so privileged as a company, and I myself as a CEO and director of the company. It is really an absolute privilege for us to be able to do what we do. We have had the privilege of having a manageable fleet of trucks that provides transportation, especially across Southern Africa. And just the ability to be able to deal with our drivers, to be able to engage with various people cross-border. But beyond that, we have had the absolute privilege of transporting and working with pharmaceutical companies to bring medicine that is essential to communities across Africa that were in dire need. And those are some of the things that we are, as a company, feel so proud about. In Uganda, for instance, we worked with a company where we transported medication and medical equipment to a community there. And from what we learned as we were transporting that was that there is a mortality rate for infants of about, what was the mortality rate? It was 40 deaths per 1,000 births. And we were able to partner with this pharmaceutical company and transport medical equipment and medicine to these communities to allow for them, for these children who are born to have an opportunity at life, to be able to grow up in a normal environment, so to speak, without having to die prematurely because of lack of proper health care. And so these are some of the things that we have done as a business that we feel very, very proud about. Making a difference for us through the work we do, as well as the donations and the partnerships that we have, is critical for us. When we look at those children who perhaps without the help of these medical equipment and medicine, they would die prematurely. This kind of work brings so much pride to us as a company. And we are grateful that we get this awesome and absolute privilege to be able to do what we do, to be able to transport these essential medicines to these communities. The impact that our business has on communities and the world in general, one is that first, we want to create employment. We want to make sure that the level of unemployment in our country and in our continent is reduced as a result of our existence. We want to make sure that people are employed and create that employment. Two is that we don't believe that you have to be big before you can start to make a difference. You have to make a difference where you are. And so we have had the awesome privilege at the beginning of this year, 2024, we had the awesome privilege of partnering with a school in an informal settlement or a township in Diepsloot, where we partnered with the school. We bought stationery, we bought things for the school so that as a company, we don't have to wait to become a big corporate to start making a difference. But with what we have, we can already start making a difference. On Mandela Day this year, 2024, we again had the absolute privilege of visiting an orphanage. It is winter time, and so we managed to buy them beds, blankets, and other things that are essential needs that they had, that they gave us a list, and we were able to buy most of the things on the list that they gave us, nappies for the babies. But beyond the things we bought, we wanted to be there in person. And because we want both our resources as human resources as well as material resources, so to speak, to be combined to make that impact. We don't want to be the company that just sends things out. We want to also be the hands that help out at these homes and these places that are in dire need. And so it was an awesome privilege as a team. We visited this home. We were able to interact with these kids who have been abandoned. We were able to hear some of their stories. And it was such a privilege to feel that we are in a position to be able to be a helping hand to these kids who perhaps are outside of people like Mikhanyi and companies like us. They might not be able to get a chance at life because perhaps of the circumstances surrounding their birth, perhaps their abandonment, etc., etc. So for us, really fundamentally as a philosophical standpoint or position for us as a company is that we make a difference now. Not tomorrow, we make a difference now where we are.
Smart city developments that provide a range of safe, convenient, and clean transportation options that tailor the best routes for each individual will benefit transport and travel. AI-powered solutions will combine mass and personal transit sharing and mobility as a service into a seamless transportation system. That is what innovation and AI can achieve for us.
The advice I would give to aspiring entrepreneurs is the following. In fact, I've got multiple, but for the sake, obviously, of this discussion, I'll give one or two. One is opportunity will come. The question is, when that opportunity comes, will you be ready for it? Sometimes as a business or as an entrepreneur, you start, you're laboring, you're working, you're pushing. It feels as if nothing is moving. No one is trusting your brand. No one is requiring or requesting your service, or buying your product. It feels as if everything is just quiet. You continue to work, continue to get yourself ready, continue to make sure that you're polishing your product, continue to make sure that your services are on point, because the opportunity will come. The worst would be you lay back and the opportunity comes and you're not ready for it. Because sometimes, I don't know how true this is scientifically, but I have personally realized that in business, opportunities come in cycles. And it feels as if when you miss that moment in your cycle, you have to wait for the next cycle before you can leverage on that opportunity. Whereas when you're constantly and continuously ready, when the opportunity comes, you are able to take advantage of it and pivot. And the second advice I would give to aspiring entrepreneurs is that you have to have an eye that looks beyond the dust, so to speak. Sometimes opportunities are not always covered in gold. Sometimes they don't always become or look so colorful. Sometimes they look like trash. They look like something that anyone can just overlook and bypass. You've got to develop an eye that sees beyond that. And because it's only a handful of people that are able to leverage off opportunities like that. And so have an eye that overlooks whether it's the challenges of your current space. Have an eye that overlooks the dust, what looks like it's disorganized, lacks structure or form, and see beyond what you can bring to that particular space, right? When you look, for instance, at some of the biggest innovators of our time, the way they have created, take LinkedIn, for instance, people just looked at how professionals are so disjointed in being together. Instead of moaning and complaining about how come this professional is on this platform, the other professional is on the other platform, they decide we're going to look beyond the chaos of the disorganized lives of professionals, and we'll bring them together on one single platform and get them connected. And as a result, it has become a big business. And so I think for me, that is important. Oftentimes, people give up at the dust level. They don't realize that sometimes the prettiest buildings were made from the sand and the soil that existed once in the ground. And that could be your business. How can you get involved with our company? Well, if you think DDP shipment, think Mikhanyi Logistics. We are a logistics company that's pan-African. We make sure that we move things across Africa, and we make Africa our focus intentionally because of the complexity that I've described, because of the lack of infrastructure, because of the complications that a lot of companies experience when working within Africa. Whilst we are able to do shipment across the globe to and from any country, we make Africa our single focus so that we are able to provide services to our continent. Our multilingual team is able to communicate with people, whether it's Portuguese, French, or English, or Swahili, or other African dialects. Our teams are able to communicate directly with your clients in their preferred language. That also sets us apart. Our understanding of the cultural dynamics, because we are Africans ourselves. We understand the cultural nuances, we understand the cultural dynamics across Africa. And so those things make us or enable us to be able to be efficient, to be able to provide the best service to our customers.
You can visit us at www.mikhanyilogistics.co.za or email us at info@mikhanyi.co.za, or you can give us a call on the number below.